We paraded down Delaware Avenue, a rather motley crew, with blankie in hand, 4 arms poking haphazardly out of the wagon which I pulled. I made it routine, a weekly visit to the library with Victoria and Alex, the little girls I babysit. The half-mile walk felt longer than usual that day. Perhaps it was the lack of breeze or my black t-shirt on such a sunny summer afternoon. Our arrival was marked by the familiar shade of the covered parking lot and the ring of a passerby bike bell. The girls anxiously unloaded, or rather disembarked, on a journey to fill their book bags with new paper adventures. At the top of a mountain of stairs, the checkout desk greeted us, upon which a cardboard cutout of Clifford the dog was promoting his latest book. Off we went to the children's section. It was only a matter of moments before 4 curious hands had begun exploring the red and blue shelves, 2 little heads barely visible from the other side. I took a seat in the nearest chair, a wooden giraffe, from which I enjoyed watching the girls search for new stories to captivate their imaginations. A moment later, Alex came running over, proudly displaying her latest discovery, a book about monkeys in the rainforest. She stood there, eyes filled with wonder and excitement. In that moment, I was reminded of the wonder I felt as a child every Saturday afternoon on my visits to the library. On the weekends, my mom would take my brother and I to the Kenmore Library. The car ride was a mere 5 minutes, yet it always felt much longer. From behind my seatbelt, bustling with anticipation, I found it difficult to be attentive to my mom's reminders that in the library we would need to use our inside voices. Though I was somewhat resentful of this notion, I climbed up the stairs that would lead me to another week's adventures, speaking only in a whisper as I handed over my retired stories of the previous week. I then skipped off to my 2 favorite places in the library. The first housed the extraordinarily innovative technology known as a book on tape. To select a book among the extensive catalog of recorded stories should have been difficult, but I often resorted back to old favorites. Despite the endless options that were available to me, week after week I would revisit familiar stories, leaving that Saturday with a personal favorite, Jamberry by Bruce Deegan. Next, I visited my close library friend, Junie B. Jones. She was a character who I could both relate to and laugh at. I understood her questions about the world around her and the confusion that results from not knowing the answers. I learned through her trial and error. I laughed at the silliness her naivete brought. I had a best friend named Grace, too. That day, I selected Junie B. Jones and the Yucky Blucky Fruitcake, comic relief inevitably waiting among the pages. As if by clockwork, I suddenly heard over top the shelves the inevitable 5-minute warning from my mom, indicating that after a half hour, our adventure must soon come to an end. "But Mom," I pleaded. "We have to get going. Dad is waiting for us at home," she said. "Okay, but do you think Dad will laugh if I read Junie B. Jones to him? You sometimes do. She's just so silly," I said with a smile. "Of course he will laugh," she exclaimed. "The sooner we get home, the sooner you can start sharing your book with him. Dad always loves a new adventure." And so it goes. My journey had to come to an end, but I had 2 books whose company would keep until the next time. I slowly disembarked down the stairs to the covered parking lot where our car waited to carry my paper adventures safely home. My brother and I adjusted in our seats, 2 arms haphazardly sticking out the window, waving goodbye to the library as my mom pulled out into the sunny summer afternoon.